Let's look at how we work out the perimeter of composite shapes. There's a couple of fancy words in here, so let's talk about them. Perimeter just means the distance around the outside of a shape. And composite, well, a composite is just something that's made up of several different parts or pieces. So a composite shape would be some weird or irregular shape that is made up of several different regular shapes or things we do know. So for example, here's a composite shape. And I can see it's kind of got a rectangular piece here, a triangular piece on top. So it's a composite shape. It's made up of a rectangle and a triangle. I would like to calculate the perimeter or the distance around the outside. But before I do, there's a couple of things I need to notice. These little single notch marks, we call them congruence marks. Because this is a single mark and this is a single mark, this side is the same length as this side. The double ticks mean that this side is the same length as this side. In this case, this will be 3 centimeters. So let's have a look. If I was to start down the bottom corner here and walk around my shape, I know that this length is 5 centimeters. And now I'm going to add this length, which I know is 3 centimeters because it's the same length as this one. So I'm starting to add them together as we go. I'm going to add another 3 plus another 5. Finally, I'm going to add this 4 on the bottom until I get back to the point that I started at. I can add them all together and I get a perimeter of 20 centimeters, or in other words, the length around the outside of this shape was 20 centimeters. Here's another composite shape. This one's kind of made up of a rectangle and a bit of a semicircle piece tacked on the side here. We're going to do the same thing, but this curved piece is going to take a little bit of extra attention when we get to it. So let's start here, and we're going to walk around 8 meters this way, 5 meters along here, plus another 12, plus another 5 to get to this point, and I know that section there is 5 because it's the same as this. But now I have to deal with this curved piece. How can I work out the length of that curved piece? Well, hopefully you can remember we did some work on the circumference of a circle, which was the perimeter of a circular piece. So I can apply what I know about the circumference to this section here. Now, I know this piece, or this distance, is 4 meters. How do I know that? Well, all up from the bottom to the top is 12. From here to here is 8. So this must be another 4 to make up my 12. That is not the radius of the circle, that is the diameter from one side to the other of this circular piece. I want to work out the radius, and I know that the radius is half of the diameter. So the radius for this, if this was a full circle, the radius, in other words, the point from the middle to the edge, is 2 meters. I can use that now in my circumference formula, which was 2 times pi times r, when my radius is 2, which gives me 4 pi, which if I put that in my calculator, 4 times pi, I get 12.6. But that would be for the whole circle. Okay, that formula gives me the circumference of a whole circle. I only want half of that circumference, just this length. So I'm going to divide that by 2 to break it into half, and I get a distance of 6.3 meters on that curved piece right there. Add that into my circumference, my perimeter calculation, and now you can see that if I can add up all those pieces together, I get a perimeter distance around the outside of 36.3 meters. That is how we do the perimeter of composite shapes.